The frigid wind wailed through the graveyard, carrying the aroma of damp soil and decayed leaves. Nathan Caldwell, a billionaire whose name echoed wealth and influence, stood before the polished marble headstone of his only son, Caleb. His hands shook as he laid a bouquet of white lilies on the grave, his throat constricting. It had been precisely 5 years since that devastating accident, the day his universe collapsed. Caleb had been his pride, his happiness, the one treasure money could never replace. Yet fate had been ruthless. A drunk driver had robbed his boy's life, leaving Nathan submerged in guilt and isolation. He had spent years immersing himself in work, attempting to flee the agony, but nothing ever bridged the chasm. As he stood in silence, consumed by sorrow, a faint sniffle drew his notice. His brows knitted as he turned to see a frail girl, no older than 10, crouched beside the gravestone. She was wrapped in a worn coat, her bare feet visible beneath a tattered dress. Her blonde hair was matted, and her face, though streaked with grime, held an undeniable purity. Nathan paused before speaking, his voice soft but steady. "What are you doing here, sweetheart?" The girl flinched, clutching herself tightly. "I'm sorry," she murmured. "I didn't mean to disturb you." His heart ached at the fear in her tone. He knelt beside her, softening his voice further. "You're not disturbing me. But why are you here? Are you lost?" She shook her head. "No. I come here a lot. I talked to Caleb." Nathan's breath hitched. "You knew my son?" The girl nodded slowly, her lips trembling. "He was my friend." His mind reeled. Caleb had been a compassionate boy, always eager to aid those in need. But how had he connected with a homeless child? "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Emma," she answered, shivering. Nathan removed his coat and draped it over her small frame. "Emma, how did you know Caleb?" She hesitated, as if wary of revealing too much. "He used to come to the park near the school," she said at last. "Sometimes he'd bring me food. He'd sit and talk to me when no one else would. He told me I mattered." Nathan's vision clouded with tears. This was a side of Caleb's life he'd never known, a side untouched by wealth or status. His son had carried a kindness Nathan himself had long neglected. "Where are your parents?" he asked cautiously. Emma's face shadowed. "My mom, she got sick, and then she was gone. My dad," she looked away. "He left a long time ago." Nathan's chest tightened. "You're alone?" She nodded. "I sleep in an old bus behind the church. It's not so bad." The image of this small girl enduring the cold, hungry and solitary, broke something within him. "Emma, why do you come here to see Caleb?" She took a deep breath, then met his gaze with wide, tearful eyes. "Because he told me something before he died." Nathan's pulse raced. "What did he say?" "He said if I ever needed help, if I ever felt scared, I should find his dad, because you'd help me." A sharp gasp escaped Nathan's lips. His hands balled into fists, his entire body quaking. Caleb had trusted him, even in his final moments. Yet for 5 years, Nathan had done nothing but wallow in solitude. Tears poured down his face as he clasped Emma's small hands in his. "You're coming with me," he said, his voice heavy with feeling. "No more sleeping in an old bus. No more being alone." Emma's lower lip quivered. "But why?" "Because you mattered to Caleb," Nathan whispered. "And that means you matter to me." A sob burst from the little girl's throat as she threw herself into his arms. Nathan held her tightly, realizing in that instant that Caleb had granted him a second chance, not to restore his son, but to honor him by saving someone he cherished. That night, for the first time in years, Nathan didn't feel alone. As he tucked Emma into a warm bed in his mansion, he sat beside her, holding her tiny hand. She was no longer merely a homeless girl. She was family. In the stillness of the night, he whispered a vow to Caleb. "I'll take care of her, son." I'll make sure she never feels alone again." And in his heart, he swore he heard Caleb's voice, gentle and warm. "Thank you, Dad."